Okay, what's up, guys? I know a lot of good YouTube channels post these like interesting, urgent, very helpful videos, and I think this one could be kind of one of them. Is to because we have the presence of artificial intelligence, which is you know, exploding on the amount of information that is readily available to millions and billions of people, and then just how that is going to advance, us even more. I do think there is a growing presence need for having your own profile and a lot of your own kind of video um and information about yourself and your personal life, all of that should be kind of online, guys. When you think about how we can start to record our lives now to, further along, our journey for those that come after us or that are in our close immediate family, of course, but just also just how because of the capabilities of storage now, I think it's good to, have somewhat of a savings, so to speak, of some of your ideas, your knowledge, your personality in a library online. So obviously having a Facebook account, but even going with the advancements of video, guys, and just voice recording, having even that style of, you know, recording of you can be good as well. Now, this can be kind of scary, but I want to go into kind of a sci-fi thought pattern here, because have you ever seen those sci-fi shows of like, you know, um, it's so far in the future, and what they call is trying to offload our consciousness, so to speak, into a database so that the human race can always live on for forever. Well, I had the thought that that sort of thing is actually happening right now, guys, if you really think about it. And it's not like a scary thing. I think a lot of these, because it's not literally happening in that way. There's a difference that I can try to, explain, hopefully. But anyways, a lot of sci-fi movies, talk about, I've been hearing news of this, and kind of some of the people, think that we should do as human beings, and just maybe ideas out there of basically turning into a computer, guys, and like living in the internet or something like that. That's pretty crazy, guys, and I don't even think that's in the list of things that God will allow someone to do, for one. But two, it does bring up an interesting point, though, about kind of like, still having a library online of yourself, as far as recorded videos and things like that, in order to just, better keep track of yourself, from kind of like a not necessarily governmental tracking standpoint, but just, your very existence type of thing can now be kind of better recorded, and this can help legally too. And when you really think about it, of trying to verify your identity, a lot of companies, um, you know, for good reason, use online internet databases to verify your identity, because there's a lot of fraud that's also happening, guys, where people are stealing other people's identities and using their credit cards, and it's pretty crazy stuff. um, so anyway, I just wanted to kind of throw this point out there that you know um, this makes me think of also a physical, this would be kind of a cool startup, guys. I'm so into like thinking of startup ideas. That's one thing I thought about in my personality, is even things that I may not ever get the chance to really create, at least on this side of heaven, but like, it's cool sometimes thinking of little ideas. I know other people enjoy this too, of like how we can improve our personal life, and then of course in the business world as well. But anyway, this makes me think of how also somehow, I think the Bible is really, introducing us to this concept too. When you think about, I've been listening to so many episodes of on the book of life, guys, and the book of works. And it's actually an interesting concept when you think about how does God um keep track of everyone, the kind of the legality, or the kind of the system behind, the order of the world and stuff, when you think about stuff like that. And so one of the ways that the Bible does share is that God uses books and writing. And so even in a very serious manner, he uses books and writing. The book of life, it literally records those who are going to have eternal life, which I agree with. Many believe is literally the most important book for all of eternity when you really think about it. Um, and so outside of maybe the Bible, of course, but it's one of those top tier kind of library books. And then, of course, what I'm trying to say is, even, would be a good business idea, would even be um, trying to sell people books about themselves, which is like a recorded sort of documentation that a service can do, like a startup business, where you take maybe a lot of the you maybe transcribe if they have videos of themselves or things that they like talking about, or you transcribe their profile on Facebook, or a lot of technology now can analyze photos and tell you what is either happening in the photo. So even like a transcription of maybe their personal Instagram photos, and you can organize that in some sort of written form to describe some picture highlights of their life and what's going on, and putting that into some tangible physical product that people can buy to, also keep a recording of themselves. It's kind of like a time capsule thing I'm thinking of. But also, if we really get serious about this, especially for people that are interested in it, some material, we can sort of like have a startup where one of those products, is like a forever type product, at least, virtually forever, like, some um, product where you can have a recording of your life in tangible physical form, because of the interest that so many people have in archaeology, guys. Um, and I think this could actually open up a whole nother economics segment when you think about the ways that you can try to catch up with what we do even today, but in a futuristic standpoint. There's a huge market of, and even just watching these videos on YouTube of archaeology, guys. When we look back at, what happened in the past, guys, we don't know how much time God has fully left until the rapture and, kind of judgment day, so to speak. And so, because we know future generations are going to be interested in, kind of what happened in the past, there could be a whole good little business segment in regards to, recording for those that are interested, and leaving, kind of a lot of people call it leaving a legacy. But this is kind of a more tangible physical experience of the concept of, leaving a legacy, especially when it comes to the financial world. So anyway, hopefully this video was interesting to someone, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button. I am working on improving the video quality, guys. I do have a cell phone that actually has a little bit better quality of video than my laptop here, even though it is kind of like a still pretty modern laptop. Um, I think I would have to start using a little webcam, to really improve these videos on this laptop. But everything else is still, this is still a pretty solid laptop though. But anyway, I do want to upgrade my equipment over time, guys. either by a better laptop that has a better camera built in, or just go ahead and install a cool webcam that has a like probably 1080p camera in it. This one is a 720 p camera in it, and so this is kind of like the quality that comes from it. Which I noticed that the lighting, I also, if I get the lighting down right, it really clears up the video a little bit better anyway. But anyway, that's a little insight on my personal thoughts of this channel and improving it. But I do have a video where I talk a little bit more about some of YECompanye uh, ministries and business endeavors that we're looking to do, especially in the 2026 and beyond years. So check those out on this channel and also my main channel, YE Church Online. So thanks so much, guys. See you next time.